following is brought to you by Cranbrook Television Limited.
Welcome to Round Town.
1978 Sam Steele Days Parade.
1980, there's a period when we...
This is my guest, Roy Orbison.
By the year 2000, each of us will know personally one person who will have AIDS.
I'm going to try and tell them that being young and invincible, and they're never going to die, they're never going to get old in their waist 9, it's never going to thicken, they're never going to get killed in a drunk driving accident, they're never going to get knocked out, and they're never going to get AIDS. It's all bullshit. It's going to happen to that group, to 1 or 2 or 3 of them. And if they don't realize that, then they're writing their own death sentence.
Our youth is our focus and our target when we started this whole project, and that the best way to get to them is to provide them with a really excellent show that is free of charge, and they can enjoy it, they can come and they can get an opportunity to see the talent, to see people like Brent Carver, who grew up here, went to school here, graduated here, and perform on the stage and be treated really special, like they really do matter to us, because of course they do.
If I could be for only an hour, if I could be for an hour every day, if I could be for just one little hour, cute, 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 in a stupid ass way. Now tell me, wouldn't it be nice that if one day
And so I was getting tested myself every 6 months at that time, but at one point in time, some people that I'd been involved with died from AIDS, and I just knew that I'd taken too many chances. Although I was out pumping people to have safe sex, I wasn't practicing what I preached. And so I stopped getting tested because I was afraid. It's funny, you know, when I didn't think there was any chance that I could have HIV, I was getting tested religiously. The minute I knew I might or I probably had it, I stopped because of the fear. Number one, I didn't want to take the responsibility of having this illness, and number two, I didn't want to know I had it.
What spurred you on to put this all together in the first place?
Well, actually, my sister, Alex Keating, she's one of our guest speakers at the benefit. She is HIV positive, and her husband also is. And I just watched the way she lives her life. She lives it with a lot of courage and a lot of dignity, and I thought, if she can live her life like this every day, there's no reason on this earth why I can't work for a year and put on a show like we have.
universality of the disease and the importance of focusing on finding a cure and most importantly supporting those who are suffering from it and their families. I mean, it touches so many people's lives. It's really important.
I totally agree.
He turns down the bed, he turns out the light, he talks to his daughter and he talks to his wife. He says, I'm getting along best I know how. I feel you there with me and carry on somehow.
The highest ratio of increase of HIV infection in Canada is in women.
I was diagnosed just before Christmas of 1988, December 23rd, and it was a horrendous Christmas. You know, when you think it's your last one, you fall into the hype of the AIDS equals death and you believe it, although you know it's not the truth, and you know, it's a hard one to go through. And that for me was a very hard time. I spent about 3 years, so I became very isolated and very much I just wanted it to be over. I'd watched so many people die from this illness, very hard deaths. I just didn't want to go through it. I wanted it to be over, so I sort of tucked myself away and became quite self-destructive for a while, you know. But I think everybody goes through a phase when they're diagnosed initially that you become very afraid, you think you're dying, you think there's no hope, and I think for a period of time there is no hope. But eventually that, hopefully for people anyway, hopefully you get past it because there is life, you know, there is life after infection with HIV. I mean, it doesn't end tomorrow.
I mean, I think we're now seeing less, hopefully, of the AIDS is God's wrath kind of thing. But we need to move away also from that kind of lofty pity, you know, these poor people. I think we have to say that this is humanity's problem and that we need to really, compassion means suffering with. And I think that's what the church has to be, in the place of suffering and vulnerability and brokenness, and be there with those people alongside them in a mutual relationship, not lofty reaching down to people. Since I became the rector in 1991, we have lost to AIDS 2 of our organists, 1 janitor, and 7 members of our congregation. It is a devastating disease. I am a baby boomer, like many of you. I was born in 1953. Antibiotics were coming on the market. The National Health Service was established in England. And we really thought we had got death on the run. We took our vitamins, we jogged, we pumped iron, we flossed our teeth, and we really thought that death was receding. When I was first ordained in 1982, all of the funerals I did were for old people. Now the funerals I do, the vast majority, are for people my age or younger. And it's made me aware in a profound way of how beautiful and precious every day is.
The majority of individuals in BC who are HIV positive are between the ages of 20 and 39.
We all experience losing friends, that this is life, losing family, losing two, and specifically with AIDS, I've experienced a number of colleagues and dear friends who have perished from AIDS-related illnesses, and see the way people deal with it, and not just deal with it, but live it, and bring some kind of unbelievable light into the lives of other people, and in the face of something that is so fearful.
Sons of your sons or sons passing by, children we lost in lullaby, so long ago, long, long ago, but sons of the saint, who is the child with no complaint, sons of the great or sons unknown, all were children like your own, the same sweet smiles, the same sad tears, the cries at night, the nightmare fears, sons of the great or sons unknown, all were children like your own, like your own, like those scarlet ribbons, those scarlet ribbons, those scarlet ribbons for her hair. And if I live to be 200, I will never know from where came those scarlet ribbons, those scarlet ribbons, scarlet ribbons for her.
It's a burgeoning danger. It's a global danger. And I think that supporting a cause like this may get other communities involved in it. And then the word will spread all that much faster. So coming to support it felt like an obligation in a way, just because jumping aboard something that is this volatile and this lethal.
Write prayer songs about freedom and joy. All the bed are rented, and I was presented as the kind of a singer most folks could enjoy. As I climbed up the stair to the stage, it was there. It was obvious that something was missing. I could tell by the vibes they wouldn't be bribed. They weren't in the mood to listen. They'll play me a rock and roll song. Don't play me songs about freedom and joy. Play me a rock and roll song, or don't play me no song at all.
The cost of caring for a person with AIDS is well over $80,000 per year in BC.
Everybody in the community has become involved. I am totally in awe of this city, of its size, to do what it's done. It's amazing that this community, from every level, has just kicked in. I have never, ever experienced the warmth and the sincerity and the generosity of a community of this size in my entire life, and I've been working out there a long time.
And that the show must have had a lot today at the community college and at the kids came over. You have got the most magnificent bunch of teenagers in this city. They are just super. I was totally impressed by them. They were just phenomenal, filling up the theater and having a great time this afternoon's show. You all should be very, very proud of your young people. You should be, yes.
The attention to detail, as Marcus was just saying, in terms of pre-planning and just being here has just been great. We've been treated very, very well, and it just makes our job that much easier. I mean, giving is not a problem, but now I just want to celebrate it. Yeah. Really, the community has just been fantastic.
That's good to know.
Yeah, along with the detail, just keep the heart in it, because that's what will ultimately keep it together, is keeping the heart in it.
I think the part that's harder is watching someone you love. Like right now, I'm watching my husband have to come to terms with the fact that he's getting sick, and that the progress has started. The disease has started to progress. So therefore, you only have so much time once that starts to happen. That's very hard. My husband is 33, and it's hard to look at someone 33 and have to admit that he's having to come to terms with the fact he's dying. I mean, yes, we all know we're not going to live forever, but you don't step out of bed every day and think, gee, I might get hit by a bus today. But you do with this disease, to some degree, think, gee, I wonder if it's going to start, or I wonder if this cold is the beginning of, So it does tend to be a lot more. But yes, it's very important to have support systems around you, and often peers are much easier to be around for that support because they know. I've been living with this disease for quite a while now. And regardless of the way I'm behaving right now, it does get easier. But not without a lot of hard work. I think one of the hardest parts of living with this illness are the stereotypes. I can deal with the illness and the sickness of my body, but the pain in my heart and the sickness I felt in my mind for a long time after diagnosis was the hardest part to deal with. We're not going to see things change for many people who are living with this disease until we start seeing more of this happening in outlying communities, not just in the major urban centers, but in all communities, where people start taking responsibility for being part of the human race. This does. People get affected with this illness for doing nothing more than being human and making mistakes, which is a very large part of being human, or bad judgment. And it pains me to see so many people paying such great prices for an error or a lack of thought. I guess my greatest hope is that there will come a time, and hopefully not in the too far future, that HIV will be nothing more than just another illness. And that when people find out you have the disease, they don't immediately treat you like a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm not, to put people in the role of being the victim, or in the role of where you constantly do things for them, is taking away their power. Believe me, if someone needs something from you, they generally will let you know. And so I really appreciate the people who have allowed me to retain my power. And if I can put across any message, I guess, tonight, is to remember that the people who are living with this illness are living with the disease, that they aren't the disease. The disease is something that they have. For me, yes, I have HIV, but that's such a small part of who I am.
BC has the highest ratio per capita of AIDS in Canada.
The first message is to all the young people. Protect yourselves, because AIDS is not a funny thing. It's not a plaything. I mean, this is real, and it's really getting bad. I mean, it's really getting dangerous. And to everybody, don't think that just because Tom, Dick, and Harry got it, you can't get it. And to consider all the others. I've lost a lot of friends along the way. And so, I don't know. I want to still love everybody, but still I want to give and try to find out why this is happening and help the research to find out how we can cure it.
I think one of the messages probably is love, definitely, and respect. And yes, we're all different for many different reasons, whether it be the color of our skin, the shape that we have, our sexual preferences. It doesn't matter. The fact is, we all have hearts, and we all have to be taken care of, and we have to care for each other, and that's what it's about.
Baby, what is the matter with you?
Ain't nothing the matter with me, baby. Nothing at all.
I said, baby, what is the matter with you?
Wanna never know.
You got the world in a jar.
You ever where's the stopper?
You ain't even got nothing to do.
When you listen to this mess, she is always laying it on me.
You know, I always told him he'd be the death of me.
Told me that
now,
all right.
Every time I see him, I get the third degree.
Listen, baby, you can tell these jokers lies. Just tell me the truth, all right?
That ain't right at all.
Oh, what's wrong with her, baby? What's wrong?
You know, he's taking all my money, and he's going out and having himself a ball.
Baby, I was born balling, and I'm gonna ball till the day I die. Besides which, last night I called your number, but I got this big hello. I know you got a big voice, but I swear it ain't that low. That ain't right at all.
Ain't nobody here to look like.
Look at him. Look at him. Your feet too big. Oh, your feet too big. Don't want you cause your feet too big. Mad at you cause your feet too big. I really hate you cause your feet too big.
Get your head out of the sand. There's 1 million women and children dying in Africa of AIDS every day. Areas are being wiped out by it. Whole civilizations are being wiped out. We sit here in North America because there was a gay disease. And they said, but it only happens to them. But it's not happening to them. The highest group of infectious gay disease right now are women, and they're going to infect their children. And you never know. You have to realize that when you sleep with one person, you sleep with 500, because the disease can just slip through the whole thing. And nobody's safe. If you're in Inuit, Northwest Territories, you can get AIDS.
There's a post over there, and it's just got a message that says love insists, and it's just got a picture of a condom. I mean, it's so simple, and it makes so much sense that that was the one that sort of stuck in my mind.
And Krista, what about you?
I think when Alex spoke, that tugged a lot of heartstrings, because we listened to her sister Leila talk about her and explain about how she was infected, and just to hear her speak and talk about everything that's happened to her really brought a lot of emotion forward.
AIDS is really dangerous, and that we should have safe sex and be careful.
I thought it was great. I mean, the fact that everybody would come back to Cranbrook for something, for a cause that's so worthwhile and everything. I think it's just great. The fact that everybody's so supportive of it, that it's something that everybody can pull together to do.
Open your heart and try to understand everything. Get educated before you judge. Know what AIDS is and know what homosexuality is, and the fact what HIV is. Know what that is before you judge someone who has it.
Over half the teens in Canada are sexually active, and only 24% use a condom.
I think the most important message is that AIDS and HIV cuts across all boundaries. It is not a disease, it's not a virus that affects one particular group, although obviously as a gay man, my community has been particularly devastated in Canada. The message would be one of acceptance, of understanding, of awareness, of doing whatever we can as a community to prevent the spread, not only of HIV, but the spread of another virus, which is just as destructive, and that's the virus of ignorance, of fear, and it's events like this here in Cranbrook that really empower a community. I don't think anyone that's involved in this is going to go away the same person, and I think perhaps the most exciting part of this event for me has been seeing the young people, seeing them listen, and obviously as I listen to their response, understanding that they've taken away a very important message. So this is a magnificent community. It's a very important event, and the people that have made it possible deserve just a tremendous amount of credit.